All right. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Carolina Panthers. And why are the Carolina Panthers 0-16? Because they suck. They've been to one Super Bowl. Ain't never won a Super Bowl. Been around since 1995. Ain't won jack. Fucking, you know what? Carolina Panthers suck. They do. They really suck. And thanks for Brian Burns, by the way. Welcome to anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If anybody's going to spend time watching the replay this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free to fire away. Throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box. Yeah, give me 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free to fire away. But plus also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might want to be, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So once again, please feel free to fire away with the comments. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified, and it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Maybe you give this video a thumbs up or share this video. That would be freaking awesome. And then finally, also just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. One underneath it, I'm an old-time fart. Can't stand change, right? I'm one of them, get off my lawn kind of old-time farts, right? I like everything just the way it was, right? I don't like change, right? It's a Twitter link, right? It takes you to my Twitter account. It's always been Twitter to me, and it always will be Twitter to me. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants you to call it, that's on you, bro. I'm not calling it that. I'm calling it Twitter because it's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff on my Twitter account every day. Then the link above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Very original name, I know, because it's basically the same name as my YouTube channel. I'm just too stupid to think of anything different, so I called it basically the same thing. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group, and it's doing simply marvelous, might add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but the members post stuff in this group as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants Gridiron. We have over 8,200 members in the group. It's doing fantastic. Please join it. Join the group. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Giants keeping busy. Once again, obviously there's a never, something just kind of interesting. I guess if you go, right, and as soon as the season's over with, right, and you go from after the season to maybe the day just before free agency, and just take that period of time and just throw it away, right? But if you go from the first day of free agency to up to like the last day, and just get a calendar up, right, of all those days, however many days it is, say it's 300 days. I really would be interested to know how many out of those, just say 300 days, how many the Giants roster changes out of those 300 days. I mean, guys getting released, whether we have 80 guys in this day, they bring in somebody else. And then the next day they bring in somebody else. And the next day they bring in somebody else. And the next day they release somebody. And the next day they bring in somebody. I'm really interested. I mean, it's just phenomenal. I mean, you need a scorecard to keep up with. It's just the way it is, right? But, I mean, the Giants, they're keeping busy, bringing guys in, right? So, a lot of it is just like competition. Sometimes you never know. I mean, you bring in enough guys. Sometimes you throw enough, at the wall, something might stick. So they might find themselves a diamond in the rough. Sometimes somebody just needs a nice kick in the right? Kicking right in the keister, right? Or they need a fresh beginning. Somebody, or they come in and maybe this particular coach can get the best out of them, or whatever it is. So, right. So we got some guys we'll be going over. But once again, Giants, I'm just kind of noticing, it seems like really seems like the Giants got Daniel Jones on their roster. If he's their starting quarterback, there'd be no love for Big Blue. And once again, it just seems like, I mean, you can have all the Saquons and the Malik neighbors and all this and Sexy Dexy and all this stuff and everything. But if when the signals get calling, they break the huddle and number 8's walking up to behind the center. Ain't no love for Big Blue. Let me tell you what. It was even after we had the playoff win a couple of years ago. It just seemed like we just seemed like we never get any love from the so-called experts. So we got here. One of them is the NFL odds. Giants forecast among the worst in the league, and of course, this is from the New York Post. And of course, the top picture is a picture of Daniel Jones, right? Odds makers aren't expecting much from the Giants in 2024. It doesn't matter. I mean, as I said, even after the year we won the playoffs, I think the very next season they still weren't expecting much from the Giants. I think as long as we got Daniel Jones as a quarterback, we're not getting no love from anybody, right? Especially the odds makers. Post NFL draft, right? And this is even after the draft, right? Big Blue is a minus 650 at FanDuel Sportsbook to miss the playoffs. Miss the playoffs. Drafted Malik Neighbors, quite possibly the most explosive player in the whole draft. A lot of people talking up Tracy, right? We had Nubin and still. So they're a minus 650 to miss the playoffs, which are fourth worst odds in the league, ahead of only the Broncos, minus 950, the Panthers, minus 1,300, and the Patriots at 2,000. I tell you what, I mean, the way things are, I would, I'm not betting a guy. I'm not a betting guy. I won't bet. I mean, I don't know what the hell. Hold on, let me see here. What does minus 650 mean? Let's see here. What does a minus 650 mean in, I don't know, betting odds? Let's try that. See if that freaking means anything. Plus or minus mean in sports betting. Okay. Oh, let's see. There's something else here. What do odds of plus 650 mean? What about a minus 650? If you would have bet $10 on a plus 650 odds, you would receive $65 in profit. This outcome won. Odds accompanied with a positive sign indicate that this is the underdog, and the outcome as the implied win probably a plus 650 is, but what about 750? What about minus 650? What the heck does that mean? Hold on. No, I want a minus 650. Let's try this here. What does a plus and a minus mean? It shows you how much I bet. Okay, the odds are a minus number that the amount of money must be wagered to win $100. What? In other words, 150 means you bet 150 to win 100. Really? Plus 150 means you make 150 on $100. Oh, okay. Really? So you'd have to bet $650 to make $100 on the Giants? Really? Wow. The standard and often implied number is minus 110, meaning a successful bet of 110 would net profit 100. Wow. This is the juice for the house of or sportsbook, assuming equal bets on both sides. Okay. This juice is a way to discourage gamblers from wagering on a heavy favorite. If the Golden State Warriors are listed, and a stupid commercial pops up, Golden State Warriors are listed at minus 500 to win the NBA championship. A successful $500 wager would only net $100. So, wow, that's pretty bad. I thought it'd be like the other way around. So, if you bet, wow. So according to that, it's been a while since I bet. So if you bet 650 on the Giants, I guess to make the playoffs. What's up, Terrence? Hey, welcome back, pal. Welcome back. So if you bet 650 on the Giants to miss the playoffs, I guess, and if you were right, you would only make $100. Well, what if you thought the Giants were going to make the playoffs? I mean, what the heck is that? I'm a little lost on that one. But I mean, that's you got to bet $650 on the Giants to miss the playoffs, and if you're right, you only make $100. Wow, damn, that's some bad odds there. Let me tell you what. Yeah, I mean, there ain't no love for the Giants. Let me tell you what. No freaking love at all for the Giants. Their current over-under win total is sitting at 6.5, which outpaces only the trio above. Wow, man, this is hard to believe. Vegas is giving them virtually no shot at winning the NFC East, where the Eagles and Cowboys remain the top dogs of the conference at large. The Giants are tied with the Commanders with a plus 1,000 shot at pulling off an upset in the division. The Eagles and the Cowboys are tied at plus 120 in the two-horse NFC East race. It's expected to be a bit of a rebuilding season for the Giants after a disappointing 2023 campaign. The Giants went 6-11 last season, yeah. So they're still only giving the Giants 6.5 wins for the season. I mean, I'm finding that really hard. I mean, yeah, come on, man. I mean, we were 6-11 last season. We were decimated by injuries. We had 3 quarterbacks in there. If Graham Gano wasn't injured and he makes that 3-foot field goal against the Jets, we probably win that game. Now we got 7 wins. And Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan didn't start that game, but he finished the game. That means he would have been a third-string quarterback, right, with no offensive line. We got no Malik Neighbors in there. I don't know if Waller was in there or what. Right? I mean, if we win that game, Chicken Cutler Parmesan Tommy would have won 4 games, would have been on the field at the end of the game for 4 wins for a third-string quarterback, right? And there's 6.5, really? Come on, man. 17-game schedule? Wow. I mean, well, this leads me to my next point, because the Giants apparently have, once again, one of the toughest schedules in all of football. Giants are tied for the 6th hardest schedule in the NFL. Now, of course, one of the problems is that their schedule's the hard. I mean, because they're playing against obviously better opponents. Obviously, I mean, meaning like with the Eagles and the Cowboys. As long as the Eagles and the Cowboys are in there, it's going to make things tough. It's going to make things tough for the Giants, that's for sure. But once again, we go from a hard schedule last season to a hard schedule this season. So, but we did have a little bit of luck on it, because 2 seasons ago, right, 2 seasons ago, we had like relatively kind of an easy schedule, right? Helped us go to the propel us to the playoffs, right? But I think that was 2 seasons ago. I think we had 9 home games, 8 on the road. Last season was 9 on the road, 8 at home. This year, at least we got 9 at home and 8 on the road once again. But once again, just another hard schedule. All right, we got here. As the dust settles on the draft, attention turns to the release of the upcoming season schedule. And you know, they had like commercials out there talking about the draft, draft being let out, and all. And it says that they can't even give you a time. I mean, you don't know when? Yeah. It said upcoming in sometime in May. It said they're gonna release the schedule. They're gonna release the Kraken sometime in May, I guess. So exactly when, who knows? I was kind of hoping that during the draft they would let you know. You know, the schedule release is coming. May whatever 8th or whatever. But as of the draft, it was just sometime in May. I can't. It's always always exciting. All right, schedule release day is a key moment in the NFL calendar and a chance for experts and fans to assess the strength of the schedule for each team. Schedule release for next season is expected between May 9th and May 16th. So May, let's see, I think 8th is next Friday, right? No. No. 8th. Hold on, 8th. Right, Tuesday's the 30th. I'm sorry. Next, possibly 8th, possibly maybe next Thursday. Somewhere from next Thursday to the following Thursday. So according to this article. So hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. The NFL's opening day game, obviously, is going to be held on September 5th, hosted by the Chiefs. It will conclude with Super Bowl 59. We're almost at 60 Super Bowls. Holy cow. Which will occur on February 9th in 2025 in New Orleans. All right, we got in addition to the first ever game played in Brazil. I think that's pretty freaking cool. The NFL announced back in February that the Eagles and the Packers will participate in the inaugural NFL contest in South America on September 6th. Pretty cool. I like that too because, how freaking cool is that, right? You're going to have, if they're talking the 6th, right? So you're talking the 5th, you got Thursday, right? You got the 6th, which will be Friday. Then you have, of course, sometimes there's football on Sunday, right? And then you have Monday Night Football. So it's like boom, 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 boom. Even, I like, even if the Eagles are on, I vomit just thinking about the Eagles. They just make me feel just nauseous. But if they start losing, man, I'm all up for it. So, but it's just cool having a game on. The Giants will play the 6th toughest schedule for the 2024 season, tied with the Bills after playing the 4th highest strength of schedule in 2023. Their opponent's winning percentage last season was 516. So we got the Giants' 2024 opponents will feature games against 5 playoff teams. The Cowboys, the Eagles, the Browns, Baltimore, and Tampa Bay. But of course, obviously, 2 of them against Dallas, 2 of them against the Eagles. So they will play against the Vikings at home and the Seahawks on the road. Both of those teams finished in the 3rd spot in their respective divisions. As for the 2024 season, the NFC East will face off against the NFC South and the AFC North. So the Giants home. Let's see here. So we got, obviously, of course, we got the Cowboys and the Eagles, and then the Commanders. That don't overrule the Commanders. I'm kind of anxious. I mean, I think they had a very good draft, right? I'm really excited. Not so much to see what Jaden Daniels can do, especially when he's against the Giants. But I mean, I'm just very excited to see him. their thing is that, how because sometimes you're just not going to take a rookie quarterback and just throw him in there. And all right, go get him, Tiger. We'll see at the end of the, what I mean? And he's going to lead him to the play, what I mean? So how long is it going to take him to get his feet, underneath him and all and everything? But regardless, being a freak of an athlete that he is, I mean, I'm sure he's not going to disappoint in any game. Especially if he tucks the ball down and decides to take off with it. It's going to be pretty exciting. But, I mean, I think overall, all the teams, especially in the NFC East, we certainly got better. The thing is, like, with the Commanders, they obviously got a new regime in there and everything, but they brought in so many free agents and they had a lot, like the draft class. They got a lot of new guys. It's kind of tough, really, just to grab a whole. It doesn't matter if they're good or not. It's hard to grab a whole bunch of new guys, throw them there. You go, all right, go win us a championship, or go win a bunch of games. It's tough, really, really tough. So I'll have to wait and see. And of course, I said the Cowboys did pretty good in the draft, but I mean, free agency they did like nothing, absolutely nothing. I said then the Eagles. I mean, my God, you realize they spent almost like $500 million in the offseason between like contract extensions, between the guys that they have to pay in this draft and the free agents they brought in, like $500 million. Wow. Man, they spent some freaking money. Let me tell you what. All right, so the Giants, there we go. Obviously, we got the Cowboys and the Eagles and the Commanders. So you can never take, it doesn't matter. You can't take, just because it's the Commanders and it's the NFC East, baby. You can't take anything for granted. Nothing. So all 6 of those games are going to be very, very, very tough. You know how tough it is for us just to beat the Cowboys, period. Right? And the Eagles are retooling, they're getting better. So we whooped up on them last game of last season, but I mean that don't mean jack mother, what this year. And I said, let's see what the Commanders got. I mean they got a bunch of new guys, so that's going to be 6 tough games, period. Then we got to play the Saints and Tampa Bay at home. Then we got the Ravens, right? And the Bengals, at home. Then we got the Vikings and the Colts at home. So, obviously we got some winnable games. Obviously the Bengals are going to be tough if they're healthy, right? Lamar, I mean, my God, I think Lamar, I think is like 19-1 or 20 something like that against the NFC. His only one loss is against the Giants, but Lamar's got the NFC's. He's got their numbers, so that's going to be a tough game. But that was a heck of a game a few years ago. That was really, really cool. All right, then we got our away. Of course, we got the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Commanders. Then we got the Seahawks. That ain't going to be easy, right? Especially in the man, the 12th man. The Falcons, they're supposed to be. I tell you what, I don't. I guess in a way you can't really blame the Falcons to right? It's just a little bit of a head scratcher because you signed Kirk Cousins not for a year, but you signed him for multiple years, and then you go out and you draft Penix. I mean, good for them. They got quite possibly 2 real good quarterbacks. Good for them. It's just a little bit of a head scratcher. Why you just brought in a quarterback and then you draft a quarterback. I don't know. But I guess I said they were in a position to draft a quarterback. They took advantage of it. So now they quite possibly for the next 10, 15 years, if things work out for them, they got their quarterback. Whether it's Kirk Cousins for a couple of years and then Penix for the next 10 after that. But, I mean, they had some good guys there. They certainly could have drafted a weapon or a defensive player or something. I mean, their defense is not the greatest. So, but anyway. All right. Then we got Atlanta. We got Carolina. And we got the Browns and the Steelers. So, I mean, the Browns, obviously, and the Steelers. I mean, if Tomlin's the coach, yeah. Can't take the Steelers for granted. So regardless, it is going to be a tough schedule. A bunch of tough teams. Yeah, it's all you can do is play everything that play the games that are presented to you. Hopefully, this season we're not doing the bull crap we did last season, right? Where we started with the Cowboys and we had what we play like three games in 11 days, whatever it is, like right off the bat. And what did we have, like 92 primetime games out of our first 5? And I mean, it was like, what the? Cousins is coming off major injury, right? Yeah. But they gave him a lot of money. And then they drafted Penix. My thing is with Penix is that the injuries he had in college. Now, apparently he got like the thumbs up. Like the doctors checked him out at the combine and all of that and gave him thumbs up and everything like that. But it's just, a lot of injuries, a lot of season-ending injuries. So I don't know how that's going to translate over to the NFL, but I have to wait and see. But he came in, they just gave him what the? Let me see. Hold on here. Falcons salary cap. Let's see here. Spot track. All right, Kirk Cousins. Let's click on him here. All right. Signed a 1-year, $35 million contract. No. All no, they don't even have him in here. This is Spot Track doesn't have him. Let's see what. Okay, all right. Was cap hit this year? Kirk Cousins is $25 million. If they were to let him go, the dead cap would be $90 million. So he's. Let's see what over the cap. See if over the cap's got him. Let's click on him. See if they got an update here. 2020. Okay, here we go. 2025. Okay, so let's see. His cap hit this season is $25 million for Kirk Cousins. It's $40 million in. So basically, what they did is they gave him like a signing bonus, a $50 million signing bonus, and they prorated it over the 4 years of the contract. So his cap number in 2026 is going to be $57.5 million. His salary cap in 2027 is $57. Let's see, they get dead cap. So they could get rid of him after 2 seasons. And if they cut him pre-June 1st, they would owe him like $25 million in 2026. So that theoretically they could get rid of Kirk Cousins in 2 seasons. 160, yeah, just like Daniel Jones, right? Huh? But they said like they could get rid of Kirk Cousins, I guess, after 2 seasons if they wanted to. They were going to bite the bullet on $25 million. Looks like dead cap money. So they can have Penix sit on the sideline with the clipboard and all that and the headset and everything and just charting plays and stuff for a couple of seasons. Then they can let Cousins go and then Penix can take over. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But it's almost kind of structured just like a Daniel Jones kind of thing, right? It's like 4 years. And with Daniel Jones, they can get out kind of after 2. If the Giants get rid of Daniel Jones after 2, right, they'll have like about $20 million or so, somewhere around the dead cap money next season. Not have to worry about if they get rid of him. But they could get rid of the Giants. Could get rid of Daniel Jones, and it's the same thing with Kirk Cousins. They could get rid of him after like 2 seasons if they wanted to. So we'll have to wait and see. But no love for the Giants. All right, now we got. I want to talk Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson and Tyler Nubin. I want to talk about these guys. Theo Johnson, big, 6'6", almost 260 pounds. They got 4.57 in the 40-yard dash. Very impressive. 6'6". They got, who is this? Bleacher Report. Who wrote this here? Does it say? Doesn't say. All right. It says well-built frame with positional flexibility to play in line in the backfield and split out as a receiver. Very good with his hands as a route runner. Now, one thing he did, I've seen some just YouTube videos of him. A lot of times he does do very well with his hands extended, catching the ball with his hands. Now, the one thing is like with him is that with Theo is that, when you're like at Penn State, right? You don't go to Penn State as a tight end to think, oh, I'm going to catch 1,500 yards worth of receptions in a season. No, that's not what you go there for. Not happening. It's kind of like, like with Harbaugh, right? You don't really going to go to be a wide receiver at Michigan and expect to catch a ton of passes, because he likes to run the ball. It's kind of the same thing with Penn State. Now Theo Johnson only caught, it was like 77 passes he caught for his entire career. But I mean, that's just part of the system that he was in. It just didn't, it didn't include him as a pass receiver too often. So it's going to be interesting to see how often the Giants put him in there, how they use him. Once again, it's going to be also kind of interesting to see if Waller does come back. Still waiting on him, right? Because if he does come back, we'll have Waller, Bellinger, and Johnson. So we'll have those three tight ends, right? And then we'll have to wait and see how much each guy winds up getting used. But if Waller comes back, if he's hopefully healthy, right, he's going to be on the field a bunch of the times. But sooner or later, Waller won't be here. And we'll have to wait and see how they, deploy Theo Johnson. But he's a big target, big dude. Somebody could be really good in the red zone. Good target. Good lateral explosion, can cross a defender's face and accelerate past them. Good speed, especially for his size. Consistently gains a step and doesn't let defenders catch back up. Very good blocking ability, thick, strong frame for inline blocks as well as movement and tracking ability to pick players off in space. He's like, it's 6'6", almost 260 pounds. Right, so I mean, you give him a guy a couple of years, heck, man, he could wind up putting on another 5 or 10 pounds of just freaking muscle. I mean, he could be 265, almost 270. Holy cow! Negatives: he's sluggish out of his stance, much less explosive than testing suggests in that regard. Below average ability to throttle down and snap routes off. Looks uncomfortable running curls and sharpened breaking routes. Well, some of that stuff you can work on. Some of it you can certainly work on, without question. But also some of it's also, just being that big and all that. Some stuff is God-given. Sometimes, like he was God-given 6'6", right? He was given that. Some things just come with the territory. Some things, as far as breaking down and turning on a dime and all that. That big and all that. There's certain things you just can't do. But but I certainly don't. I don't hold his lack of, I guess, production in college. It's tough to hold that against him because just where he was at. If he was like in a more of a wide open type of an offense, his production would probably be up there quite a bit. But he's somebody that as far as a mismatch, as far as 6'6", that's pretty impressive. Any guy, if anybody in the secondary goes with him, it would be a mismatch, height wise anyway. So we'll have to wait and see. But once again, you kind of waiting on what does Waller wind up doing. Let's see. The last season he played 13 games at 34 receptions, so he had like 2.5 receptions a game basically. 341 yards. He averaged 10 yards a reception, but he did have 7 touchdowns. So basically, one every 5 receptions that came with a touchdown. So he was born and raised in Canada, right? So we got Theo Johnson's an uber athletic Y tight end prospect who will need time and development to unlock his receiving potential in the NFL. So a lot of stuff you can work on. Certainly a lot of stuff. And as long as Shane and Dable are, at the command, right? They spent a 4th round pick on him. And Shane did say when they were going into day 3, right? That what Shane said, right? When you go into day 3, that's round 4. He said Theo was their top guy on the board. That's what he said. So I think he said. What I said, I think he said every time they drafted somebody, whoever they drafted was the top person on their board. So, Neighbors was their top guy on the board instead of Odunze. So whatever, but they said when they went into day 3, they said Theo Johnson was the top guy on their board. So that's who they got. So be interesting to see. Let's see here. Johnson's size and positional flexibility alone make him an intriguing prospect. He has the size and strength of a true inline tight end, along with the movement skills of someone who can be flexed all around the formation. Gotta like that. Gotta like the positional flexibility. Very, very, and especially have him in the backfield. Especially, heck, you can use him as like a freaking fullback, a 260-pound fullback, 6'6". Penn State regularly played Johnson on the ball, off the ball, in the backfield as an H-back, in the slot and out wide. They put him freaking everywhere. As a pass catcher, Johnson is a mixed bag right now. Johnson's best trait is that he understands how to use his strength and frame to separate. His violent hands and powerful stride give him the upper hand physically in most matchups. Additionally, Johnson shows the quickness to cut across the defender's face as well as the long speed to outrun defenders on routes across the field or down the seam. So, I mean, the one nice thing about him, is he Tony Gonzalez or is he, Kelsey or something? No. Is he ever going to be one of the guys? No. But there are certain things he can work on to get better. And as long as he, a lot of it's up, a lot of it's up to the guys. A lot of it's, what's in here, some of the stuff's you can only go so far, but a lot of it's in here. How much heart do you have? What do you want to do? What do you want to become? You're going to work constantly at your craft and try to get better and better and better. So a lot of it's up to the guys. So we'll have to wait and see, but it'd be interesting, when Waller's not here anymore, it'd be interesting to see, how they deploy Johnson, or how much they use Johnson, or how much they use Bellinger, right? And then we got, I'll tell you what, I was very happy. The one thing was when the second round rolled around, we needed, I wanted to get like a defensive tackle, somebody next to Sexy Dexy, right? Because we got Burns, we got Kayvon, right? We got Sexy Dexy. Can we get a nice stud in there next to him? And that'd be special because we'd have a front wall be fantastic. But when the second round rolled around, the defensive tackles just started going. I'm like, couple sprinkled in with a couple wide receivers, but like four, 5 or whatever defensive linemen went. Like had the first like 6 or 7 or 8 picks, whatever it was. I'm like, okay, guess we're not going to get a defensive lineman. But then I'm like, all right, well, maybe we can still get that cornerback number 2. There's still a bunch of them on the board, right? But once I think the Eagles at 40, I think the Eagles jumped up. I think it was 40. All of a sudden, every cornerback, boom, boom, cornerback. All cornerbacks started going off the board. So I'm like, oh, great. So, but when they took Nubin, a lot of people have him as the possibly, if not the best, maybe the second best safety in the class. So, pretty happy, and he seems like very happy to have him on the team. Shall we say? He was pretty pumped up, pretty emotional. Seemed like when he was getting that call from Shane. I think when he was talking to Dable, I think he said something. He either said, "I won't let you down," or "I'm going to be the best pick in this class," or something like that. You won't regret this pick, or something like that. Whatever it is. So, I mean, I like that. The guy's pushing his chips in the middle of the table. He's going to hopefully back up his words and everything. So he seems like kind of makes me kind of forget about Xavier a little bit now. So we got 5 things to know about Tyler Nubin. Now, this is from what? Dan Solomon. This is what, Giants.com. With the 47th pick in the draft, the Giants selected 6'1", 200-pound Tyler Nubin from Minnesota. Here are 5 things to know about the incoming rookie. So we're starting to get, obviously we got Michael Schmitz last year from Minnesota. Now we get Nubin, right? He's Minnesota's all-time interception leader, was the first safety drafted. Nubin was the first of 21 safeties selected in the 2024 draft. So a lot of people think that quite possibly we got, no, let's not forget about this, right? Out of our 7 draft picks, right? 7, okay? But no, my bad. I can't count. 8. Give me a second there. Ball hawk. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm anxious to see him on the field. Yeah. No, we got 8. All right. So a lot of people say that we got, not everybody, quite possibly the best wide receiver with our first round pick. Then our second round pick, we traded away for Brian Burns. So to me, and just because we know what Brian Burns can do as a pro. So to me, we traded away our second round pick to get Brian Burns. So I'll take Brian Burns, even though it costs us money. I'll take Brian Burns over any edge rusher in this class because we know what Brian Burns can do. He stays healthy, right? Doesn't miss any games. And I think if you couple him up with somebody else like a Kayvon, that can make a guy even better. You couple him up with Kayvon, Sexy Dexy, and him, I think he can be more productive. So to me, I think we quite possibly got the best edge rusher in this class, right? Then our third pick, which is our, if you want to look at it which is our second round pick, we got Nubin. So we quite possibly got the best safety in the class, right? Then we got the third round pick, the fourth round pick, the fifth round pick, the sixth round pick. But then let's not forget, and I was listening to a Big Blue Kickoff Live. They brought this up. The Giants traded away. Why didn't they have a 7th round pick in the draft? Well, that's because they traded it away, and we got Isaiah Simmons with that. So we got ourselves. I think he was number 8 in the draft. Right for the 7, so we had to re-sign him. Somehow we got him for. I looked like $2 million. I mean, unless that's a print or whatever. I'm like, wow. So let's not forget about that, right? So we traded away our 7th round pick for Isaiah Simmons. I'll take that any day of the week, right? I mean, that's a heck of a. We got some studs. We got Isaiah with our draft picks, right? We got Brian Burns, Neighbors, Isaiah Simmons. It's like Nubin looks like really, so we did pretty good. Let's see here. Where he set the program record with 13 interceptions in 55 career games. He also broke up 24 passes, which is tied for 8th in school history to go along 207 tackles. 4.5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. Now he's got all kinds of accolades. Holy crap. I mean, it's unbelievable. Senior Bowl All-American team, Sporting News first team All-American, AP second team All-American team, and Walter Camp second team All-American. I mean, geez, he's got all kinds of accolades. We got here. He calls himself a Swiss Army knife. When asked what he will bring to the Giants, Nubin said he is comfortable anywhere on the field. I can move around anywhere, he added. I can blitz. I can come down and hit the box. I can play over the top. Got to love it. Flexibility. Got to love it. According to Pro Football Focus, Nubin last season played 460 snaps deep, 198 in the box, 84 in the slot, 13 on a defensive line, and 5 at corner. I mean, can't play much else, any place else than that. I mean, he's all over the place. Nubin posted a career best 90.1 coverage grade in 2023, which was first among Power 5 safeties and allowed a 33 passer rating in coverage from 2021 to 2023, according to PFF. So he allowed a 33 passer rating, just not for one season, but from 2021 to 2023. It comes from my preparation for real, Nubin said. I feel like that's really what it is, how I approach the game, the things I do throughout the week to set myself up for success on the weekend, on Saturdays, now Sundays, to make the game easy. He has an opportunity to make an immediate impact. Safety Xavier McKinney was one of 2 players to play every snap last season, alongside with Bobby Okereke. But the 5th-year pro signed with the Packers, right? So Nubin will enter a competition with Jason Pinnock, Dane Belton, and Javarius Owens. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up playing a whole lot early on. He will wear number 31 as part of a Gopher lineage that includes Antoine Winfield Jr. I mean, what a freaking player that guy was. Wow. While Giants fans will know the number for obviously Jason Sehorn, right? And Aaron Ross, forgot about him. Nubin is paying homage to his old college teammate, Antoine Winfield Jr., the 45th overall pick by Tampa in 2020. He has worn number 31 while picking up first team all Pro Bowl and all rookie honors throughout his young NFL career. Nubin said both players prepared him to be NFL ready. Jordan Howden, all right, and Antoine all helped prepared Nubin for the NFL. And finally, his high school and college coaches says willingness to put in the work set him apart. And that's huge. That's huge. A lot of it, it's like, I'm not saying everybody gets drafted, just sits around watching Netflix and eating bags of Cheetos. I'm certainly not saying that, but a lot of it is preparation. Knowing your opponent better than they know themselves, not knowing, who the quarterback, likes to throw the ball to and stuff, all that stuff. I mean, if you can get in, because I know Bobby Okereke looks at a ton of film. Maybe you get in with him, right? Hey, Bob, when we're watching film, right? Where you at your house, I'll be there. I'll buy the pizza. Pizza's on me, guys. Right? Let's go watch some tape. Right? Preparation, huge. An Illinois native, Nubin attended St. Charles North High School and led his team to its first ever state final appearance as a senior. That year, he recorded 51 tackles and broke up 6 passes. On offense, his primary position was a receiver. He caught 42 passes and not for 9 touchdowns. In addition to running for 600 yards and 12 touchdowns. So he had 21 touchdowns. Wow. What set Tyler apart from a very young age was his willingness to put in the work. St. Charles North head coach Rod Pamazik, I probably screwed that up, said, I'd watch him in the middle of school and youth league games, and he was very talented, but I never thought it would be the end of the rainbow as a potential first or second round pick. At age 15, he wanted to get a Division I scholarship and eventually play in the NFL. Those are some lofty dreams. And I said, if you're going to dream big, it has to be every decision you make gets you closer and not farther away. He took it to heart and still does. So I really think, we hit it out of the park with that guy. Go back right to 2015, right? So you fit 10 drafts, right? Basically, the way it worked out is that we draft a safety in the second round. He played with the Giants for 4 years and let him go. Then we draft another safety in the second round. He plays with the Giants for 4 years and we just let him go. Hopefully, one of these years we'll actually, keep a safety, right? Because we got Landon Collins. He played with the Giants for 4 years. He came back, but we got the best out of him. Whatever. Then he went to I don't even know what the hell they were at the time. If they were the Redskins, if they were the football team, or they were Commanders, or they were who the heck they were, whether they were the Washington Senators, whoever they were, when he went to them, right? But it would be nice if one of these times we draft a nice safety in the second round, keep the guy around. Wouldn't that be nice? Just instead of drafting these guys, good guys, and just letting them go. So hopefully this second round will be a keeper. But he looks, I'm certainly not saying the guy's going to be a Pro Bowl or nothing. I would like that. I hope so. But I just, it seems like, his heart's in the right place. And I think we really knocked it out of the park. I think at least with his attitude and everything, I think he's going to be a plus for this team without question. All right. Then we got it. Then the Giants had a bunch of undrafted free agents they're bringing in, but there's a couple of wide receivers. One of them, some kind of secret weapon that I don't know, that I did not know about this guy. Chris Autman-Bell. He was apparently, I don't know. New York Giants bringing in an undrafted free agent wide receiver that the rest of the NFL forgot to draft. Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know about him. I didn't know the 2024 NFL draft is a wrap, and many undrafted free agents are still trying to find a home in the league. Many have already signed in teams over the last few days. Others have received invites to rookie camps with various teams in hopes to prove themselves and earn a contract. Right? One underrated undrafted free agent, General Manager Joe Schoen, invited to the Giants' upcoming rookie minicamp, who stands out above the rest, is former Minnesota wide receiver Chris Autman-Bell. Avid college football fans are likely familiar with him because he'd rather notably spent 7 years. I didn't know it was possible. How could you spend 7 years in college? Now he'll be trying to land his, maybe is he like 30 years old already? Now he'll be trying to, hold on, I got him here. Hold on, what's he? I don't even have his freaking age here. PFF, you suck. I don't even have his age. Unbelievable. Let's see here. Now he'll be trying to land a spot with the Giants in the upcoming weeks. Why did he spend 7 years in college, and why is he underrated? Chris Autman-Bell began his college career as a 3-star recruit back in 2017. He sat out his first year, redshirting to save future eligibility, but quickly made his presence felt, sharing targets with two future wide receivers, Rashad Bateman and Tyler Johnson. Autman-Bell spent 3 straight seasons playing wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 2 roles for Minnesota, but then broke out as a clear leader on the team in 2021 when he accounted for 37% of the Golden Gophers' receiving production. He was on an early pace to put up 1,000 yards in 2022, but then he tore a ligament in his knee and damaged his meniscus as well. After that, he was never really the same for Minnesota, spending much of last season fighting back to get 100% healthy. So, unfortunately, that's what happens a lot of times. They say that, like maybe something with the knee, right? It takes like 2 years. Like you can come back after the one, but you're not quite, especially with the ACL. I've watched it also with Daniel Jones. We have to look at too. They say a lot of times you can come back. A lot of guys come back after not even 1 year, right? But they're not 100%. Sometimes it's not till the second season that sometimes they say you're even better than before, right? So if Autman-Bell was fighting his way back last season from his torn meniscus and all and everything, who knows? Maybe this season, with the Giants trying to fight his way on, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Now he's entering year 2 post-injury, and he may provide some of the spark that helped him average nearly 16 yards per reception for his career. It says Chris Autman-Bell's fit with the Giants. The Giants just drafted Malik Nabers to be the focal point of the receiving offense with their first-round pick. However, outside of Nabers, the Giants are lacking significant different makers at his position and only have one other receiver with any size to speak of, Isaiah Hodgins, who's over 6 foot tall. Autman-Bell would give the Giants another outside receiver with size and contested case. I've seen some of film of him. He does very well. He's 6'1" as well, but he does very well with the contested catches. That is for sure. Autman-Bell caught 70% of his contested catch targets in his peak 2021 season and posted decent NFL projectable rate stats in categories like yards per route run and receiving market share in both 2021 and 2022 that could indicate he should have success if given the opportunity. Given how desperately the Giants need to improve their offense, Autman-Bell should get a real look this summer if he performs well in the Giants rookie minicamp. Oh, yeah, I'm sure, if he performs, absolutely. But let's not also forget, it was almost kind of like what happened last season. We almost had too many receivers, right? We're letting Johnson go and, just so now we have Paris Campbell just sitting on the sideline because of whatever reason we paid him almost $5 million. And it's like, yeah, really can't use this guy. Yeah, we're not going to, whatever. It's like, so, let's not forget about Bryce Ford Wheaton either. Let's not forget about him. So, we got some receivers. I'm not saying we're a top 5 receiving group in all of football, but we got some receivers, right? I said, but you look at what Shane's done in his 3 seasons with the Giants, right? Wandale Robinson, he drafted Hyatt, right? Now he's got Neighbors. So 3 drafts, three studs. So, and then you got Bellinger and you got Theo Johnson. So, all right. Then another guy who brought in, John Giles, undrafted free agent scouting report. John Giles from West Florida. Giants added a long and ultra-athletic receiver to go with a roster full of talented pass catchers. So I said, we got some pass receivers. That is for sure. The New York Giants added some talent at the receiver position over the NFL draft week. In their first-round selection, Malik Neighbors and undrafted free agent Ayer Asante bring multiple dimensions to this Giants receiving group. But the one thing neither brings is a big body. They just added 6'2". Okay, still not 6'4", not like that, but 6'2", 219-pound John Giles from Division II, University of West Florida. Giles started his collegiate career at Fort Scott Community College, where he amassed 1,543 receiving yards in back-to-back 6 touchdown seasons over 2 years. He then transferred to Virginia Union, where he hauled in 9 more touchdown passes before finishing his final season at West Florida. In 2023, Giles scored 54 passes for 1,081 yards. It's almost 20 yards of reception. No, that is 20 yards of reception. Holy cow. And 13 touchdowns, which squarely put him on the radars of NFL scouts and draft prognosticators everywhere. But he didn't get drafted. Many believed that he would hear his name called on Saturday during the final 4 rounds of the draft. So when the draft ended and he was still on the board, it was impressive that the Giants were able to secure him as a priority free agent signing. Absolutely. What to love about Giles? Giles has an absolutely ridiculous catch radius. Gotta love it, right? Which has allowed him to catch so many errant throws by his quarterbacks. Now that's one thing that when you go into when you got Virginia Union and Western Florida or wherever you can, the community college and all that, you're not catching passes from Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or whoever, Lamar Jackson, right? You're catching passes from guys that ain't going to the pros. So you're catching a lot of errant passes, or you got a lot of errant passes coming your way. Now, if you got a lot of errant passes coming your way and you're still coming down with them, that's pretty good, right? Now, also, a lot of it's also, you got to keep a lot of stuff also in perspective, too. It's because he's putting up great numbers, which is fantastic. And when you're playing and your competition is not Alabama, right? You need to dominate. And he dominated. 20 yards of reception, 54 catches, 1,080 yards, 20 yards of reception. Pretty good. So, but he was able to do well with guys not going to play professional football. So we're throwing the passes, throwing the ball to him. So once again, Giants, bring in some talented receivers. Basically, he truly embodies the saying, just put it in somewhere close and I'll go get it. Several elements make his catch radius so massive in comparison to others. The first is his natural freakishly long arms. They are so long that he can stand straight up and touch his knee. Holy cow. That is freaking long. Second is a reaction and hand-eye coordination. For a man with arms this long, you would think he'd be a little more clumsy, but his arm movement is actually fluid and he works them within the framework of his body. So he's not only able to track the football, but he can also get his hands to the target on time to grab it. What he needs to improve on. There are some things that Giles will need to work on if he wants to make it through training camp and survive in the NFL. The big issue is his route running, where he has issues getting in and out of his breaks. Right now, his bread and butter routes are stop routes and straight line routes. But I mean, certain things you can certainly work on. And your route running ability is certainly one of them, without question. Once again, excuse me, a lot of it's, in here. How well do you want to, how well do you want to elevate your game? How much, you know what I mean? Now, is he going to be the greatest receiver of all time? No. But, can you do as much as you possibly can to give yourself the greatest opportunity to make it in the NFL? So, but I mean, 6'2", nice size, great catch rate. I mean, his arms are freaking long, God-given ability. I mean, if you're standing straight up and your arms drag down, and you basically, I guess, your top of your fingers can touch your touch your knees. That's long arms, long. You can't duplicate that. So, once again, brought in another talented wide receiver. So, we're gonna have some receivers to throw the ball to. That's for sure. Then we brought in a defensive back, David Long Jr. Now, just somebody for some depth, for some competition. Once again, might possibly maybe some special teams play, maybe if he even makes the team. You don't know. I mean, it's not somebody to get over the moonly excited about, right? So the Giants announced Wednesday afternoon that they've signed defensive back David Long Jr. Long was originally drafted out of Michigan by the Rams in the third round of the 2019 draft. He spent his first 4 years of his career with LA. He then bounced around the NFL some in 2023 with 3 games with the Panthers, 3 games with the Packers, and then he spent, I think, 8 games with the Raiders. So last season, I mean, it's like, I mean, you play games in one season with 3 different teams. It's good enough that he was able to make 3 different rosters and play in 3 different games. Got to give him that. The thing is that if you're that good, you're not going to be on this team, or actually, if you want to look at it, within like a little over a year, he was on 4 teams. If you go from the Rams, the team that drafted him, right? Like in basically like a space of a year, you're not going to be on 4 different teams if you're that good. So once again, just somebody they brought in. Doesn't mean he ain't going to make the team. We could use some help in the secondary. We probably use some special teams help. So certainly does not mean he will not make the team. That does not mean that. Let's see here. His most productive season was in 2021, in which he started 5 games, recorded 40 tackles, 4 passes defense, and he had 1 interception. Long was primarily a special teams player early in his career, playing roughly 60% of the Rams' special team snaps in his first 2 years and still being a steady presence on special teams for the Rams, Panthers, and Raiders after that. He'll likely have to make the Giants roster as a special teams player as well. Absolutely. Long is feisty, competitive, and physical defensive back who played press man corner for the Wolverines. He might be more of a nickel defensive back for the Giants, however, as he lacks the size you commonly see in outside corners. He stands 5'10", 196 pounds, 30-inch arms, not very long, which limits his ability to do press man corner at the NFL level. Giants have a number of nickel options, right? Got Drew Phillips, Cordell Flott, Darnay Holmes, Jalen Mills, and Nick McLeod. It'll be interesting to see how the secondary takes shape under Shane Bowen. Yep. Absolutely. But I mean, if you look at, as I said, if you look here at Long, right? Now, last season, between the Raiders, the Panthers, and the Packers, he played in 53 special team snaps. 2020 played in 284 special team snaps. Right. His rookie season, that 2019, he played in 132 special team snaps. Now, he never graded out really great. He graded out in the 50s, according to PFF. That's all I'm going by. Right. If you go on basically his defensive grades, last season, last season, he played defensively with the Panthers and the Raiders, he graded out overall 65.7. All right. Okay. 2022 with the Rams, he graded out 53.6. 2021 is 60.8. Rookie season, he only played 109 defensive snaps. He graded 67.4. So, hey, I mean, with the Raiders last season, his coverage grade, he played in 5 games for the Raiders last season on defense. His coverage grade was a 76.5. His run defense was a little weak. As I said, last season, let's see, overall, he graded out 65.7. He played in 2 games for Carolina and 5 for the Raiders. So in 7 games last season that he played on defense, he played 190 snaps, not a ton of snaps, but he graded out a 65.7. So, I said, with him, with David Long, does it mean he ain't going to make the roster? Absolutely not. Right? I mean, once again, it's some depth in the secondary, and he's played on special teams. So, we'll have to see. Right, but we certainly in the secondary we can use some competition if nothing else. All right, and then finally, once again, the Giants, they just do not do a good job with their 3rd round picks. Well, we got to wave another one. Bye bye. As I always remember, because I think it was the last year that Shermer was here. Right, it was 2019. And we picked up the phone, or it didn't pick the phone up, but he got the phone. I guess Gettleman gave him the phone or whatever, and Shermer was on the phone. And the first thing he said, he called him, "Hey, X-Man," right? So that always stuck with me. Oshane Ximines, right? They called him the X-Man, right. So he was another 3rd round pick. Now we did sign him, right, to 1 year. Didn't sign him until like another contract extension, right? Like a 3-year deal or something like that. But the Giants, they were just not doing a good job. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, right? I mean, you go back to like Ernie Accorsi, Jerry Reese, Dave Gettleman, right? And that can't really go with Shane because Shane is only his 3rd season. He's drafted 3 third rounders, and the contracts are still here. He's not in a position to have to re-sign any of them. But I mean, you go back, we're not doing a good job re-signing, maybe or drafting, right? 3rd round players and keeping them, developing them and keeping them. But Oshane Ximines, he was with the Giants for 4 years. We re-signed him last year for 1 year, right? And but just now he's with the Patriots. But I mean, I tell you, if you look, you gotta go back to 2005. You gotta go back. So this draft 2024, include 2024, and you go back 20 drafts, including 2024. You go back to 2025, 2005. My bad. In those 20 drafts, now, of course, now to keep in mind, this year's draft, the last year's draft, 2 years ago, those 3rd rounders are still on the rookie contract, so I get that. But if you go back 20 drafts, basically we've had, and you got to go back to the 20th draft. Basically, we have a 3rd round pick that we signed to like a extended contract, and I don't mean 1 year, I mean more than 1 year. And that would be Justin Tuck. You got to go back to 2005 till we have a 3rd round pick that, we obviously we drafted in the 3rd round. His rookie contract was up, and we signed him to another extension, another contract, this 2-3 year deal, whatever it is. You got to go back 20 years for a 3rd round pick Now, to be fair, we still got the last four third that are on the roster. One of them's Aaron Robinson. Now, I don't know if we're ever going to see him because he had a horrible. Anytime he was on the field, he was productive. His problem is he can't get on the field. Or if he does get on the field, he can't stay on the field. He's like the Shane Lemieux. He's like the Ellerson Smith. He's like the guy who's going to get injured, guaranteed. Now, he came back from a horrible knee injury, right? Now, will he ever be able to play ever again? Who knows? Will he ever be able to perform at an optimal level where it'll allow him to play in the end? Who knows? I hope so, because when he was on the field, he did a decent job. But, I mean, I said, I'm going to go over some of these guys here. I mean, just these third-round picks. It's just the first round, the second round, you got to hit those guys, right? But the third-round picks, I mean, the guys are like, what? Well, what would that be? Pick number 70 and 80 in the trade. You can't find somebody out there like, the 70th player or the 80th player out in the country that you'd want to bring in and keep for a second contract? Really? 20 years? Holy cow. I mean, wow. All right, so we go back here. All right, so let's start here. Obviously, we got Andrew Phillips. We just drafted him, right? Then we got last year, we got Jalen Hyatt, right? Just drafted him, right? So he's still on his rookie deal. Then, of course, you got Joshua Zudu, right? And Cordell Flott. Now, with Joshua Zudu, he gets injured a lot. We don't know if we're going to be keeping him or anything like that. Hopefully this season, Carmen Basile can work some magic with him. I'm all for it, right? But you draft a guard in the third round, right? You have visions of this guy being a starter. So let's hopefully the guy can stay healthy. But obviously, once again, we have a Cordell Flott, right? But those are all in their rookie contracts. Then the year before that, 2021, is Aaron Robinson, a third-round pick. When healthy, when on the field, was productive, but the guy cannot stay healthy, right? Let's see. It looks like he's played in 11. Is it 11 games? Is that all? I mean, he missed all last season. I mean, 2021, he played 9 games. Then in 2022, he played 11 games. He played 2 games in 2022. Got injured, missed all of 2022, missed all of 2023. It's like, yes, I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't possibly imagine how the Giants are going to try to re-sign him if he does come back and play this year. Can't imagine. But then go back here. Right? So then we go back to the third-round pick, Matt Parrott, 2020. Third-round pick, a third-round offensive lineman, and he was horrible. Absolutely, with the Giants anyway. It was horrible. Then, of course, 2019, you got the X-Man, right? He played 4 seasons. We re-signed him, I think, for 1 year, right? Didn't really get any production out of him, and now he's gone, right? Then they got, unfortunately, another edge rusher, Lorenzo Carter, right? Seemed somewhat promising. Played 4 seasons. Bye-bye, right? Then we got Davis Webb, Darian Thompson, Odigizua, Jay Bromley. All right, we got to go back here. 13. Demontre Moore, Jaron Hosley, Jarrell Jernigan. 2010, Chad Jones, our third-round pick. 2010, Chad Jones. Didn't even make it in the NFL. That's horrible. That's really freaking horrible. Ramses Barden, Travis Beckham. 29. 28, Mario Manningham. He played 4 seasons, right? 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? And then he went to the 49ers. So let's see here. Right? 2008, 9, 10, 11. Right? And 12 and 13, he was with the 49ers. Right? Once again, he had some injury problems. So that might have been one of the reasons why we didn't re-sign him. But See that big catch down the sideline in Super Bowl 46, right? That was his last game with the Giants. Right? All right, what else we got here? Mario Manningham. Jay Alford. Unfortunately, he got injured. He had injury problems. Let's see. Jarvis Wilkinson. 2005. Justin Tuck. So you got to go back 20 drafts. 20 drafts. For the Giants drafted somebody in the third round, right? Who they re-signed to another contract. I mean, that is absolutely freaking mind-boggling. So, Oshane Ximines is gone. He had 4.5 sacks his rookie season. The next 4 years with the Giants, he didn't even have 4.5. I think he had 2 sacks his next 4 seasons. What are we doing? We can't develop this guy. He had 4.5 sacks his rookie season, and he plays 4 more years. What are we doing? Yeah. Wow. That is just mind-boggling. How absolutely unbelievably pathetic the production we've gotten from our third-round picks over the past 20 years. Unbelievable. I mean, yes, we've had the Mario Manninghams and some other guys but we're not re-signing them and everything. Wow, that's such a shame. A third-round pick. Those guys you really got to hit. I'm not saying you got to hit on every one, but man, like at least one out of every 2 you got to hit on, where you get them, you develop them, and you keep them. Because some of that, like we said, Shane Zimmer, I don't know what he signed for, but he wasn't signing for $15 million a season. Shame. But one thing is that to help, obviously build a team is through the draft. And, when maybe you're hitting on your first and second round picks, but you can't build a team with just first and second round picks, You got to get those third and fourth. Well, we've had some success with the later round picks, right? But it's just simply mind-boggling that the Giants can't get better production from their third round selections. Now, let's hope that, Cordell Flott, Andre Phillips, and Hyatt, right? Hopefully they, start proving us wrong. But, And I said things don't look very good for Aaron Robinson either. When he was on the field, he was pretty good. He was, things were looking good. I'll tell you what, a lot of nice things were said about him coming out of college and all that stuff and everything. And to be honest with you, quite possibly, if he wouldn't get injured, he might be cornerback number 2 right now, right? But I don't even know if he'll ever play ever again. It's a shame because it's a bad knee injury. And it's the same thing. It's with some guys, it's like with him, it's like crickets. It's like, because you hear stuff with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, he's in the building. First one in the building, last one out. He's doing everything he can. He's always working, trying to rehab, and he's on the field throwing and this, that, and the other thing. What's going on? You don't hear with other people like Aaron Robinson. What's going on? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I have absolutely no idea what's going on with Aaron Robinson. So, all right, guys, been 1 hour and 18 minutes. Terrence. Nope, nobody's listening to me right now. So, hey, Terrence, good talking to you, brother. Hold on, let me get, Terrence. Terrence, there we go. Good night. Man, I haven't seen Terrence I haven't talked to Terrence in a long time. Longest time. All right, guys. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.